Thanks for the support as a channel member, Ollie Collins. Well, after the weirdest season I think I've ever had, we've somehow found ourselves not just in the Champions League, but straight into the Champions League groups. We've got £50 million to spend. We've got loads of wage budget left over. But I don't know what kind of player I want because I think the squad is already really good. I don't know what kind of summer we're going to have. It's a transfer special. We might be about to spend 200 million quid on superstars. I might be about to spend it all on wonder kids. I might have a quiet summer. This is going to be an interesting one now. It's probably going to be the most important transfer window of the entire series as we try and establish ourselves as a Champions League club far earlier than we thought was possible. Hello and welcome to part 116 of Bourne Again. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have our season review of our best season ever and transfer special. As you can see, I'm on an A-. I was on an A+ at some points during that season. That's when you know you're doing well, when you're in the A's on these manager performance things, because that's usually completely impossible. But at the moment, we're managing to achieve it. So we have finished second. Lots of good things have happened. Let's review them properly. Confirmation, highest ever league position. We previously was 9th from last year. We finished second in the Premier League. And as a result, we've had players inducted into the all-time best 11. As you would imagine, Christian Gomez is one of them. Ryan Robinson also making his way in, which means it's starting to take on a more Premier League look, this all-time best 11 now, as we start to lose some of the heroes from the earlier parts of the save, which it's a shame to see them go. But I don't think there's any argument that, I don't know, Japhet Mata is better than Christian Gomez. Even for contribution for what he's done for the club, I think Gomez wins on that count. It's weird to see Jacob Quinn still in the side. Good to see Pavlov still there, though. So, the all-time best 11. So, Alan Hardy in goal, who, of course, is still at the club. Joel Barnes. Why do I always call him Josh Barnes? Joel Barnes at left back, who is still playing for LAFC in the MLS. Been there for 4 years now, having a lovely time, teaming with Pavlov still, presumably, he's the number 10 for LAFC and scoring goals and just enjoying life in the MLS. They're both enjoying living in LA. Why wouldn't they? I'd quite like to go and hang out there when I'm no longer wanted by Bourne. Interesting. There's an idea. Also at the back, we've got O'Driscoll, who's now playing for Livingston. He's one of those who probably needs replacing in this team. He was here for a long time, but only 2 years of that he was in the team. Yes, there were 2 promotions. In fact, there's only 1 promotion year, and he was on loan for those years. I think we need to do better than him. And Mark Sheffield being in there at centre-back is a little bit of a weird one, because I don't remember him ever playing centre-back for us, although, again, he was here for a long time. And then Lastra at right-back, who's also over in the MLS at Columbus, having a lovely time over there, having joined them permanently. Jake Bruce, central midfield, somewhere he rarely played for us, but he's having fun playing for Newcastle in the Championship, who didn't get promoted, so another season in the Championship for Jake Bruce, alongside Arnautovic, who, of course, had his loan move to Wolfsburg. Oh, he has now played a 3rd game for them. I thought he was going to finish his Wolfsburg career with 2 starts, 2 red cards and a long-term injury, but it looks like he recovered from his hip injury just in time for them to inexplicably play him again on the last day of the season. I don't know what they were expecting to happen differently, but somehow he's managed not to get sent off, and he's got his average rating up to 6.2. Gomez, Robinson, we know all about them. We've already seen Pavlov, and of course Jacob Quinn up front, who was great for us but didn't want to come back. Sheffield Wednesday didn't want him, and it serves him right that his career petered out age 25. He should have come and signed for Bourne permanently. Got home on the mind. If you want to have home on the mind, it was accidental, but perfect accident. I stream home on Twitch 4 nights a week, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday, twitch.tv/LOLLUJO. Link is down in the description, and you can come and actually see me manage home over there and probably call them Bourne, because I use the names interchangeably. They basically mean the same thing. But that's the all-time best 11. We've already looked at where they are now. Our end-of-season awards. Cerner Jackie, as you would expect, has won Player of the Year with 49% of the vote. Gomez 2nd, Sarmiento 3rd. Can't argue with that. I would have done exactly the same thing. That seems spot on. Sarmiento winning goal of the season. Let's have a little look at his goal of the season. I've already noticed there's something weird happening with the team of the season. Well, I'll have a look at that in a second. But this is the goal of the season from Sarmiento. So Orlando playing it back to Cernajacki, who I guess is going to find Sarmiento on the edge of the area. Finally, a goal of the season that looks like it actually warrants it. And Sarmiento, of course, getting signing of the season, as you would expect. And Cernajacki, young player of the year, the team of the year, looks fairly all right until you look at the left wing, and I don't understand it. So Mazinho in goal, a back four of Regulus, Henshaw, Da Silva, Orlando, Mira and Sarmiento in midfield, Cernajacki, Ricardo, Mile Minic on the left wing, Gomez up front. Minic, we sold him because he wasn't really playing. He started twice for us this season and has made it into team of the year. Yes, we sold him for a lot of money, but I mean, could we not have put Ariel in, either on the left or moved Ricardo over to the left? Or poor old Zimmerman, what's he got to do to get in team of the year when Minic gets in ahead of him with 2 starts and hasn't been here for 6 months? I want a steward's inquiry on this team of the season. Stats-wise, Gomez is top scorer, Cernajacki, highest average rating, most assists, Mazinho, best pass completion, Sarmiento, most man of the match. I mean, you can see who our 3 stars are. Gomez, Cernajacki, Sarmiento. If we can keep those 3 together, we've got a chance of cementing ourselves as a Champions League club. And if we can also keep Da Silva and Mazinho as well, and then we kind of have our little core of a very good team that we can then plug other players into almost interchangeably over the next few years. But as long as we keep that core in place, we should be looking pretty good. Season review-wise, we obviously overperformed. This is the team of 2029. Where are they now? Probably in the lower leagues, because that's where we were then. Club Vision. This is going to be interesting. See, they want high reputation players again. I'm not interested. Mick Powell tried to add that last summer. I'm not interested in signing high reputation players. I want to bring in youngsters and develop them. He's also added in expand the stadium, which I've asked him twice to do in the last year, and he's refused. But now he's added it to the 5-year plan. Hopefully next time I ask, he'll actually be on board with it. So I'm definitely happy to leave that in. Next season, despite us finishing second, they want to avoid relegation and reach the Champions League group stage, which I think we're into the Champions League group stage straight away. So both of them should be comfortably doable, and we've got training facility improvements going on. By the following year, become an established Premier League team, and within 5 years want to be getting top half finishes in the Premier League, where we just finished second. I think we're a little bit ahead of schedule there, but I am not doing this. I do not want to sign high reputation players. There you go. I'll just keep pushing him. I've been here long enough to be able to push in situations like that. I am not going to be judged on signing players I don't want to sign. Team leaders are Sir Alan Hardy, Cernajacki and Mira. That looks about right. End of season team meeting. This is a tricky one because we've just finished second. We're now a Champions League team, but the board just want us to avoid relegation next year. So the players are usually in tune with the board. So if I were to say mid-table, which I think is reasonable to say, it's our first Champions League campaign. We're probably not going to qualify for it again, but I'd like to think we can finish mid-table while we do it. But I bet they think that's too hard. But let's say it. Yeah, being unrealistic. Christian, we just finished second. Let's avoid a relegation battle then. You just have to go with the board in that situation. It's so stupid. We just finished second. End of season team break. Training camp destination. We can go anywhere. We'll go to the United States. We'll go and see Pavlov and Barnes and Lastra. We'll go and hang out with the old boys. Confirmation that Gomez, for the 2nd year running, has won the Premier League Golden Boot, which, I mean, that's an incredible achievement. 24 years old, back-to-back Golden Boot winner. That'll be on his biography. He's not even a favoured personnel with us yet after 2 years as back-to-boot, but he's been named Premier League Golden Boot on 2 occasions. He can treasure that for his entire career, and he beat Vedran Stamenkovic twice now. He's beaten him. He's an £132 million player who's 2 years younger. Gomez is the man. Cernajacki, for the 2nd year in a row, wins PFA Young Player of the Year as well, because he is a super talent. Who's after Cernajacki now? We've got to hopefully keep hold of him this summer. And then we also have Gomez making it into the PFA Premier League Team of the Year, which is a surprise. That is a team of Liverpool players and Christian Gomez. That's, that's probably fairly similar to what the current Premier League Team of the Year would be, isn't it? Apart from there'll be no Bourne players in it. Wow. Okay, let's ask to expand the stadium, considering that was on the... Oh, there you go. Don't even have to. I mean, it's not much of an expansion. Another 4,000 seats, which isn't a disaster. Another 4,000 seats. It's going to cost 4.8 million, which I guess is just coming out of our balance. Yeah, because we had 40 million in the bank. So I would have gone for more than that. The ground's capacity, we temporarily reduced it. What I want to know is if we can continue to expand beyond that, or if that's going to be capped out at 16,000 now. Either way, we will be able to stay in this ground until the end of the save, which is a bit of a difference from home last year. But 16,000 isn't really something you can sustain a club on long term. But that's cool. That'll be done by January. What does it take our capacity down to in the meantime? Down to 11,000. Now that is interesting because the minimum capacity for the Premier League is 12,500. Presumably they'll let us stay here because it's reduced while we do work. But it'll be interesting. And again, Champions League, we'll see what happens with that. The board are upgrading the training facilities, which is good. And they want to improve youth level, I hope. Yeah, go for it. I've been asking you to do that for years. Right, you've done 3 bits off your own back. Let's see what else we can ask you to do. No, wrong one. Right, facilities. Let's improve the youth facilities as well then while we're improving stuff. Yeah, go for it. What else can we get? Is there anything else? Improve youth recruitment. Let's do that as well. Oh, come on, Mick. Come on, Mick. We're never satisfied. Can't stress how important this is. Hey, I persuaded him. So, I've had a few arguments for Sir Mick Powell this summer. So, youth facilities being upgraded as well. Youth recruitment will be considered extensive. So, that means our facilities, we're pretty close to maxing out all the off-field stuff, which means we should really start to see some good youth players come through. We had some decent ones come through last summer. Nathan Curry, hero of home last year. I think he's more likely to get some games for us. He came through the youth system this intake just gone. He's a central midfielder, 4.5-star potential ability. That kind of answers my question that I asked on this morning's Apollon episode, where I said, has anyone ever had a youth player come through who's a natural central midfielder? Yes, Kev, you did 3 days ago. He's called Nathan Curry, and there he is. It's just a Greek thing over in that save, clearly. Can you all let me know in the comments to that video that I found the answer in this video, so I can go back and rewatch it and just check for myself. But it's good to see we're actually getting one decent youth player come through, and hopefully that will continue as our facilities continue to improve. And of course, improving the training facilities means we'll be better placed to develop all these young players that we've got at the club going forward as well, because we have a lot of superstars in the making. Juninho, Ariel, Cernajacki, Da Silva, Sarmiento, Amlang, Regulus. We've got some good young players. Should we try and sign Ashley Oatway permanently? We'll do an inquiry, and also Robinson, not because we think it, but again, it's just the homegrown thing with Robinson. Let's just see if we can get either of them permanently, because I don't really have much in the way of a shopping list this summer. If we look at our team, we put that to 3-star, take away. We can put loans out back in, remove expiring contracts, because that will take Oatway out of the equation. So even with those 2 loans removed, I guess we could use a centre-back, a right-back. But we don't need a lot. Centre-back and a right-back. First part of the shopping list. Let's go do that. Looks like we won't be signing Robinson permanently then. How long has his contract got left to run? 2 more years. Can we get him on loan? No, not another inquiry. For goodness sake. I've just made another inquiry. Can I withdraw that? Yeah. Can we offer him a loan again? Loan. We'll just keep loaning him because he's a useful man to have around the squad. Because of that. We'll just keep bringing him on loan. We're not playing him. Tottenham want crazy money for him. It's a very strange situation with Ryan Robinson. But let's see if we can do the same thing with Oatway. Wrong button, Kev. In fact, we haven't had the inquiry back about him yet, I don't think. No. So, no. Let's just see how much money Chelsea want. He might be a reasonable priced player. In the whole, they've rejected it. So let's see if we can get him back on loan again. Because he was a useful player this year. No, first team opportunity. So we could maybe do with replacing him. But if we look at the scouted players in the positions that we're looking for, so centre back, there's not a huge amount out there, really. Let's do it by ability. I mean, he's expensive. He's really expensive. But you know what? He wasn't there a minute ago. He's just been scouted now, I think. Yeah, 19th of May. He's the man. He's my boy. This is who I want. Yes, he's expensive. But he is spot on. We'll make an offer for him in a second. I'll continue to try and make my point by looking at right backs. This is where there's a right back who's appeared as well. Yeah, this is more like it. This is the point I was trying to make. Any right backs that are any good are crazy expensive or old. But we're going for that centre back, that's for sure. Why Manchester City? Oh, was it Manchester City? Why are they selling him? Why don't they want him? He played 22 games for them this year. He's 23. Surely they're not going to sell for a Premier League rival. Well, exciting news, boys and girls. Matías Diaz joins us on the 9th of June, so in about a week's time. We got him for £30 million. I know normally I'd want to fully scout a player. We got him up to 91% scouting before putting the deal through. But with Liverpool and Paris Saint-Germain also interested in him and him willing to come, I thought, you know what, let's just get that one through. 30 million quid seems like an absolute steal for a player who just fills a gap that we had. We needed a centre-back. Now we have one. Still looking for a right-back. Right-back is proving a lot more difficult to identify a player for. Not because there's no players out there, but because the ones who are any good are going to cost us an absolute fortune. Let's do this by ability, which is where it already was, I think. So this guy, Juan Arango, looks great. 23-year-old right back, Colombian, so he'd got on with Sarmiento and Gomez. He's probably away at the Copa America now with them. They're being lovely buddies. He's much better than what we've got, better than both Orlando and Ansong. The only problem is he's going to be in a range of somewhere between 37 and 81 million pounds. Next option then, Elliot Neary. He's Welsh, 59 caps for Wales already, homegrown in England, which is important, better than what we've currently got, but going to be in the range of 35 to 84 million pounds. I can't justify spending that much money on a right back. Nick Ferguson from Stoke, 25, but never played for England. Already a few question marks there. He's a little bit better, maybe, than what we've already got. He's got a black star. He could potentially come in and be no better than Orlando, and he's going to cost us 26 to 38 million pounds. If I'm spending millions upon millions of pounds, I want someone who's going to come in and guaranteed to be a star. I'd love to bring one of these two in, but I'm not paying those kind of... I don't even want to pay the low end of those kind of price ranges. But imagine spending £80 million on a right back. Oh. Transfer window is open, boys and girls, which means Alan Reid has left the club to go and sign for Celtic. I'll miss him. I thought he was great, but he wasn't quite a Premier League player, despite the fact he did play a lot for us in the Premier League in that first season. He couldn't keep up with another one who's been a victim of the club outgrowing him. But in these 5 players who are now arriving, we know we've got the new defender. We know we've got a couple of the youngsters that we arranged to bring in back in January. But we also have our first English wonder kid of the save. Where is he? Lee Cook. Here he is. 19-year-old left winger who comes in from Aston Villa. English. 7 England under-21 caps already. Obviously homegrown in nation because he is English. He comes in as our best left winger ahead of Ricardo and Zimmerman on that left-hand side. He scored 10 goals and got 10 assists for Villa in the Championship last year. Never played a Premier League game. 76 games in the Championship before his 20th birthday. I think, bearing in mind, I know we're paying a big premium for him being English, but we need some English players. So to be able to bring in somebody who's homegrown and English, I think it's worth paying a little bit more for. We're a Champions League club now, after all. Also coming in, we've got Sergio Monrose, who's an 18-year-old Argentinian centre-back. He's just another one of these who's been brought in on the basis of, after he's been here 3 years, he'll be classed as homegrown. Then they're not being brought in with a view to them playing now. It's just to fill out our homegrown players in the squad. Felipe Silva, 18-year-old Portuguese right winger, in on the same basis. You can see none of these are massive deals. And Alex Lavelle is an 18-year-old Peruvian central midfielder, again on the same basis. But the two big signings are Cook and, of course, Matias Diaz, who's our new centre-back partner for Da Silva. They're both very, very good centre-backs. And we've got the two English backups, Henschel and Keane, as we start to fill out the homegrown players in the squad as well. Let's send them all on language courses, welcome them all in, and then see if we've actually got any money left over, because after all that, I have done something that I said I wasn't going to do, and I have made an offer for one of those right backs, because again, along the basis of we're a Champions League club now, we can go and spend some money. And there's the confirmation of Reed going. The fans are sad that Reed is gone. Well, we just brought in a better option as his replacement. I don't know if we've even got the money to afford him now, but Juan Irango, we've had an offer accepted. It's a total value of £67 million, 24.5 million up front, then some Never Never and various add-ons. We'll see. I don't even think we've got the budget to do it. We might be able to. We'll see. Obviously, if he comes in, then Orlando would need to move out, because if we have a look at our right backs that we've got, Ansong is homegrown at club, so we'd want to keep him, although he's wanted by Reading, which kind of puts a cap on his value if it's Reading and we're after him after all this time. But yeah, I think we'd keep Ansong, move Orlando on, who at 23, and he is wanted. He's wanted by Tottenham and Sevilla. I mean, if we could get a decent fee for Orlando and bring that guy from Norwich in instead, I think that's a big upgrade. In other positions, who could we move on? We've probably got one too many centre-backs now. Although Amisador is kind of a backup left-back as well, with Cogni as part of the midfield. I don't really want to lose either of the English players, Henschel and Keane, because we're going to need them for our Champions League squad. I imagine Amisador probably misses out on the Champions League squad, but he'll be a useful player for the Premier League squad, so I don't really want to let him go. In midfield, I mean, Burling has 21 now and probably not going to make it. We might just move him on, although he'll probably go out on loan again. But other than that, I think that midfield is solid. And we saw last year of how many games Mira played, that there might yet be a space in that squad for Arnautovic, who of course is homegrown in England. So Arnautovic probably comes back into the squad if we've not got Oatway and a replacement for him. We've got lots of players in the attack who can play in lots of positions. Robinson will be part of it because he's homegrown. Ricardo's got the flexibility of playing anywhere. Ariel can play in multiple positions as well, as can Guven, which gives a few of them advantages. And then Amlang is homegrown at club, so he gets to stick. In fact, is he homegrown at club yet? If he's not yet, he certainly will be soon. It must be this summer he becomes homegrown at club. So he needs to stick around. Janino can play anywhere. I think this is... Can we start registering a Champions League squad now to see if it works? Or does it not let us? No. I think we've got most of our business done. I'd just like to swap the right backs, let Orlando go and get the new guy in. If we get this deal agreed with Arango and we can't quite afford to do it, I'll try and push Orlando out to finance it. There you go. There's confirmation. Lee Cook is our record transfer. And there above that is the confirmation that we can't afford the other guy. My director of football, Leroy Sané, is trying to spend £14 million on a 28-year-old midfielder. He hasn't read the memo of what our transfer policy is. He can drop down to the under-18s. That's fine. Let's just praise these boys. I don't really know why we're praising them in the middle of June. Not sure what difference it's going to make, but we'll do it anyway. And shall I interact with the board? Do you reckon they'll let me do it? Would cost far too much. Right, we delay for a week. Let's try and get rid of Orlando to fund this. So we'll offer him out. Is there anyone else that we're just not going to use? So if we sort like that, have a look at the bottom end of the squad. We're looking for players who are a little bit older. I mean, Henschel's the obvious one, but he's English. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 8 homegrown players. of which Henschel is one. I think we just have to hope we get good. I mean, what do we actually need? We needed 26 million's worth of budget, didn't we? Is that what it said? 26 million is required. We've got 23 million. So as long as we get like 10 million for Orlando, we can get the deal through. So let's hope we get a good offer for Orlando. So Mick Powell really doesn't want me sorting out this right back situation. I've accepted an offer of 11.75 million pounds from Tottenham for Orlando, which is his value. So Mick's in saying, not enough money. I'm not going to cancel the deal because that deal allows me to get the replacement. I think the board should reconsider blocking the sale of Orlando. Right. Okay. So we might still be able to get rid of Orlando and replace him with the other guy. So Mick isn't on board with this transfer. I wonder which one of us is going to end up right when all is said and done. Little bit of name in the game player update. Michael Beagles, your player, your goalkeeper, who's been out on loan at Fleetwood in the conference all year, having a good season by all accounts. You've made your international debut for Wales. Aged 18, never played a Football League game. Only played in the conference. You are now a Welsh international goalkeeper. Congratulations. In other news, we've found a different right back. The plan might be changing. If we can get this guy, we're going to go for this guy, Claudio Romero. We're just waiting for more improved scout reports for him, but we can get him for 8 million quid. We put an offer in as well. If some of these end up nearer the higher end, I'll be quite happy, especially if he's that quick. That'd be ridiculous. But for 8 million quid, I'm thinking he's probably a better option than spending 70 million on the other guy. Can't yet do a comparison because I haven't got enough scouting for him. Orlando is gone. Slight loss on him. Still only 23, but he... I think this is 2 players called Orlando I've signed in FM20, and neither of them have been any good. Now we desperately need a right back now. It's just whether we get... This guy doesn't... I mean, it's a risk selling Orlando because he hasn't even agreed his contract yet. So if we don't get him, we have to get him. Which won't be a disaster because he's very good. He's just very expensive. It's a race against time now. Well, I've got myself into a pickle because we still don't have the scouting report for Romero. He's still only 48% scouted and hasn't agreed a contract yet. And we've now had the second reminder for Arango. So if I try and delay this again, Norwich are going to pull out and we lose him and he might be rubbish. So I'm comparing what I've got to compare. He's going to cost us like 60 million. He costs us 10 million. They're very similar. They're both right backs. They've both played roughly the same amount of games last year. Goal threat, vaguely similar. He's better pass completion, a slightly better average rating, but playing in a better league. He's been playing in the Premier League. He's been playing in Argentina. They're the same sort of height, same sort of weight. The stats we've got are very similar. He's better at long throws. You know I love a long throw. And he's quicker. But he's got better acceleration. What about crossing? He's better on crossing. Right, reports. He can't speak the language. He's poor in the air and was an awkward core social group fit. But he's resolute, quick and works well in a team. He's professional, versatile, has international experience, he's intelligent, good passing, speaks the language. He's also poor in the air, has poor jumping reach, and would be an awkward... So they've got the same disadvantages. He's got more upside. He's better on star rating, and he's a complete wing-back. If they were the same price, there's no decision. They're the same age. If we sign Arango, it's our final signing of the summer. That's all our budget gone. If we sign Romero, we could maybe bring in another player. Do we need another player, or do we just need a really good right back that we know is a can't miss, up there, similar sort of quality to the rest of the squad, even though he's expensive right back? I think we go with Arango. I think it's a big decision. It's a huge signing, loads of money, very expensive. We've overpaid for him massively, but he was, I was going to say he's the only option. We literally had another option right there. But we needed him. And he was the best option if we ignore money. And we're a Champions League club now. That gives us the right to ignore money. That being said, we've now got no money to spend for the rest of the summer. He looks to be a great replacement for Orlando, so the fans are happy. It's a record signing. I mean, he's a very, very good right back. We're not going to need to upgrade this guy anytime soon. Slots him to this squad. He's up there in quality with Da Silva and Diaz. Regulus is now the weak link at the back. Mazinho could do with an upgrade next year. But he fits in with the rest of the players. 3.5 4-star players. He's a similar standard to Da Silva, to Ariel, to Cernajacki, to, Gomez is the 4th choice striker apparently, to Juninho and Gervin, who are obviously better than Gomez. Ricardo, Cook. I think when we forget how much he spent, we'll all be all right. I know you're not going to ruin me for that transfer. Johansson's gone. He was a bit of a flop, wasn't he? But I think when the dust settles, we forget how much he cost. That needs updating for the new season. We've done all our business by June. By the middle of June. Guarantee we're now going to get the £110 million offer for Cernajacki. If the video's still got 20 minutes left, that means we sold Cernajacki and panicked. If it's 3 minutes left, that means I have genuinely finished my transfers by the middle of June. Well, here's something I haven't done for a little while. We've just signed a player on a free transfer. Pedro Bellico is a 27-year-old Brazilian international. 10 caps for Brazil already. He's a left winger or striker, can play comfortably in either of them. 4-star current ability. He was released by Arsenal, who paid £24 million for him years ago. He's been sort of a squad player for Arsenal ever since. So he had a season on loan at Barcelona, where he had a fantastic season for them, averaging a 7.34. Since then, he's had a season on loan with Wolves, not quite so impressive, but got 8 goals. And he can just come in and offer some competition for Cernajacki on the right. If we have another injury to Cernajacki this season, then Bellico's there to step in. I'm also thinking, if either of the, they're not interested at the moment, but if PSG or Bayern or Barcelona or anyone like that starts sniffing around Cernajacki again, we don't need to panic now because we've got Bellico. He'll also provide some competition up front as well. Michael Amlang is probably going to be going out on loan. He has now officially become homegrown at club. Now, I know in an ideal world, we keep him so that he can go in our Champions League squad, but he's our 5th choice striker. Now Bellico's come in. He's still got 4.5-star potential, and there's clubs willing to take him on loan for the season, pay all of his wages, and play him as a regular starter in the Premier League. Both Villa, in fact, Palace are in the Championship. So I'd rather he went to Villa, but Villa are committing to play him as their starting striker. So if he can go and get a season of Premier League football under his belt at Villa and come back to us next year, 21 years old, maybe closer to 4-star current ability and be homegrown, I think it's worth taking the hit this year to do it. Bellico, we didn't know we needed him, but I'm not upset that we've got him. That's the tagline on his signing. Right, let's give him a squad number. What squad number does he want? Can't even see him. Don't know. No one knows what squad number he's going to wear. He'll be on there somewhere. In fact, we should be able to go back. There you go. He's got the number 6. That's when you know he's going to be a good winger, when you give him the number 6. I really do think we're done now because there's no money left. Unless we sell someone, we're done. We did sign another midfield player, Ilian Ionescu, who he's only 2.5-star current ability. He was scouted a lot better than that. I've got a scout with 20 for judging current ability and potential ability, who said this guy was a 4-star central midfielder available for £1 million. So I thought, you know what? We'll take him. He's come in. And I know this guy's judging ability isn't as good as the scouts was, but this is the best we've got in our coaching setup. But he thinks he's 2.5-star and our 8th choice central midfielder. I guess time will tell who was right. I might have to sack my scout if he was cheap. What do you think? There you go. As a ball-winning midfielder, let me know. Does he tick the boxes? He might end up a decent signing. If not, it's no big loss. He's basically the replacement for Oatway in the squad, but I think Arnautovic is probably going to slot into that role. But I think we're done. £148 million spent. on 8 players, of which 3 of them are first team players and the rest are youngsters. We've sold a few fringe players, Reed, Orlando, Johansson, and there'll be plenty of players going out on loan now, but we're done unless we sell somebody. And it's interesting to see there's not currently anybody in for, you can see I'm actually paying attention to stuff like that. Goodness me, I've changed. Where's the LOLLUJO view gone? Why is it not showing properly? Auto size, all columns. What? I don't remember what I was trying to show you on here. I was making a point and the point is gone. Oh yeah, I was looking to see which players had clubs interested in them. That's right. But I don't know that there's necessarily anyone leaving, because there's no big clubs in for anybody at the moment. I guess Zimmerman attracting attention from Dortmund is interesting. Amlang's going to be going out on loan. We've obviously signed Cook this summer. I do like Zimmerman, but he didn't get in the team of the year despite playing all those games. Only averaged a 6.9. What I like about him is that he's an inside forward out on that side, but with Cook and Ricardo ahead of him on that left wing, ideally he gets a loan for a year. But if Dortmund want, how much should we pay for him? 23 million. If Dortmund want to come in and give us 30 or 40 million for him, I won't be upset if he leaves. But I'd quite like to keep him around and about the squad. Well, we've snuck a couple more in. Nothing major. We got a backup goalkeeper. This was my director of football did this. He's not allowed to make transfers for 2 years now off the back of this one, because this is pathetic. But we did need a third choice keeper because we've loaned out Michael Beagles. He's going to be playing in League 2 again this year, or in League 2 for the first time this year. Now with 2 caps for Wales, so we needed a third choice keeper. I then took matters into my own hands after that disgrace and signed this guy, Antonio Simic, 18-year-old Argentinian, 2-star current ability, 4-star potential. We've now got 2 good 18-year-old goalkeepers. We can't loan Simic out, though, because he needs to be here for 3 years to get his homegrown at club status. And then we signed another young 18-year-old Horst Gertz, an 18-year-old Austrian right midfielder who can also play central midfield, left midfield. Can't really play on the wing. So I think long-term for us, that's where he's going to end up being. Maybe as a Carrilero, because I like a Carrilero in a 2-man midfield. Certainly if we go to a formation as a defensive midfielder in at some point, or a diamond, I like to have a Carrilero and a Mazzala in the central midfield positions. But he's got 3.5-star potential. So he's another one who, just bringing him in because he's 18 and it helps to fill out the homegrown players. Other than that, lots of players have gone out on loan. And now we've got the Community Shield coming up, which I know once we get deeper into the save, the Community Shield, when we're playing in it every year, just becomes part of the transfer special. So if you're fresh off of non-league to legend, you might be expecting that. But we'll do it. We'll do it in tomorrow's episode. It's a big deal for us. It's a trip to Wembley. We've not actually won any kind of major trophy in the history of the football club. And I know you don't really consider the Community Shield to be a major trophy. I quite like the fact we're playing in it without ever having won the league or the FA Cup, though. Has anyone ever won the Community Shield having never previously won the FA Cup or the Premier League / First Division? Trivia. We might become a trivia question answer, which I'll like a lot, and we'll find out if we manage to achieve that in tomorrow's episode. Plus, it's a good way of finding out how we weigh up against Liverpool, who were runaway Premier League winners last year. The board are looking for us to avoid relegation. The media think a 13th place finish is on the cards. I'm hoping we can do, at the very least, Europa League again. I know we got to the Champions League a year early, and Arsenal, Man City, they've all got new managers. I don't expect us to have any easy route into the Champions League again, but I'm thinking top 7 would be a nice finish for us, and we'll just have to see how things turn out tomorrow. The Community Shield is going to give us a good idea of where we might be in comparison to the one big club there is currently in the Premier League. But we will wrap this transfer special up there. There's the outside chance, with 5 days to go before the windows close, that there might be a couple more transfers. It seems unlikely at this stage, though. So if you have enjoyed this video, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.